pretty good matchup.
Oh, it's Diana. I forgot about this. Obviously, it's Diana top into the Gwen.
Yes. Well, this is kind of what I was talking about. Something a little bit spicier that they didn't expect to be banned. So clearly, Kingen has been prepping this into the Gwen. A bit of like the sort of Carly back when Gwen was really strong.
Yeah.
Carly was picked into Gwen, likely for similar reasons of how you would play the matchup. So I think at 6 maybe is where you'll look to.
Well, he got solo kill.
We kind of, to no surprise, losing matchup.
All right. It did actually win. Gives him the door.
Yeah, unfortunately it is Braum, so...
This is all going not so well for Nongshim. Okay, there's a bullet time. Jiu is almost just straight up dead as he flashes, but Ruler still just hits him with a Q.
Yep, can't flash an auto attack.
Oh dear. I mean, it's basically an auto attack as there is a nice Winter Spike connecting onto Lehens as well. And now Ruler is looking to line it up, but Lehens thinks he's found the angle and Ruler will go down, but not before he grabs a double. Seen so far.
Yeah, you know what's kind of doomed when like Keen doesn't have TP, but Nongshim still can't contest what could be a 4v5. Not really gonna happen.
Gideon gonna be over there as well.
Is this where Diana top shines?
There we go, being a jungler.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I do know more about Diana jungle than Diana top lane, so...
Yeah. I personally thought the mid lane Diana was fantastic. There was a Southeast Asian player, his name was G4, and he was brilliant at the Diana, I remember, many years ago. As Gideon gonna hop over the wall, but Duro is still gonna just throw some Winter's Bite at him. What is it that Braum shoots out? Canyon is going to dive on top of him. Gideon now actually throwing down a fair bit of damage. Yeah, has the doggos, and now Kingen with no ulti, but he's pretty sticky on this Diana. There's the dash forward, and he does have the ult, but I think Canyon still did. Never mind, they get over the wall, and Duro just stands beside. We saw in the last clip as he's diving forward, protecting his minions. Stand beside Braum exactly as... Oh god, yeah, that double up actually doing a lot of work. Still tanks the turret as Lehens gets the ult flash. In comes Jiu. Can Ruler survive? That's the question as Duro's going down as well. And Gideon just grabs a double out of nowhere.
That's how your Coach Kim would not be laughing after that play.
Not anymore. And they've pulled back the gold advantage as well. You can see Gideon now with the lead himself.
He can still win.
Well, Keen is going to take another turret, and that will just go down. No real response available as King in jungle. The outer and mid lane is going down. Jiu really can't really afford to be here as that turret is not long for the world. And in goes...
And MF were both quite strong. Chovy managing to just make a 20 CS lead appear as he is to do.
He does have that, and that was very cute. As Fisher is in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
As in goes Shelly at the same time. Gideon wanting to try and defend, but I don't think it's going to happen. And Fisher's not going to die, but the inner turret will. And there is only thought about saying something positive for the gold on Nongshim. That was pretty good. Lehens going to find his way in once again. Gideon diving on top of Chovy. Arakan getting involved as well as they use this as a leash angle. The rest of Nongshim are all already here. And Canyon's on the other side of the map, yeah. Was completely caught out. So now Gen.G, are they going to try and do the 4v5? That's the question. They're now looking for an angle as Keen dives in. And Kingen, not sure about that. Did get the ult off, but it didn't really do anything at all as Canyon's turned up. They've got 5 members now as Jiu splits to the other side, tries to hex gate out, and it was very, very sad. Chovy going to go back to the Arakan, picks that one up, and it was a worthy try, Nongshim. And unfortunately, it did not work in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to speed up the game, that is one way to do it. Unfortunately, not in a favorable direction. You kind of just leashed Arakan, and they're going to pick up this dragon as well.
Propaganda.
Assess the situation.
As Keen has found Gideon.
Yep. Oh, TP coming in.
Oh, Voidseeker is going to land as Jiu's going to turn up. Okay, Gideon goes untargetable, so he's out of this fight, but Fisher, he's the one that needs to try and catch him, and there is a gorgeous charm. Keen is just going to smell the roses for a moment as a golden Gwen, but almost manages to pick up the kill at the same time. Still, Gen.G going to be pushing on that top side. Teleport in from Chovy just to guard this mid-outer turret. And in the meantime, an inhibitor turret's going down.
Yeah, they can't defend this.
Yeah, it's just gone. Perplexing. I would say that the trade does
pretty much what that offered. I mean, they... Oh, and this tower's gone as well. Well...
There needs to be 8 other kills for Nongshim, though. And so we'll see how we do picking up those. As Lehens, he's going to get picked up by Canyon here. And Chovy will be able to deliver the death blow. Never mind, it's actually Canyon that collects that one.
You wouldn't get it if you're not a Diana top lane player.
Well, I'm not, so I don't get it. We are going to get some... Is Fisher going to be able to find the angle? That's the question. Never mind, Lehens has already been caught out. Does buy a bit of time with the ulti, but it's not quite enough. That's a brilliant ult coming out from Duro as well as Kingen. He finds an ult under 3. And most of the damage is unable to follow up. G one shot away from being stunned. It's Fisher, triangle.
Can't take that Hex Gate, execute.
Yep, there it is. So he is going to be able to secure the execute. That does mean, though, that it's very... Okay, never mind. Gideon going to be able to pop over the wall. Nice charm just to play some defense. But as it's all happening, Ruler is taking a drag.
Gideon Fisher still haven't died. There is something... I'm going to pre-warn you, Max.
Please.
It's very going to send it.
Oh, yeah, Kingen has the ultimate back up again. As Chovy is just going to hold the ult. Not going to get baited there as Gideon goes untargetable, but it doesn't really matter. And now they take the Baron and they take the lives of the Nongshim members.
Oh,
that is a...
It does not do damage.
It does not. It did not do very much of anything at all. As Lehen's going to be the next target here. Chovy just following him. Giu trying to do some tricky stuff to try and get out with the Killer Instinct, but unfortunately it doesn't quite work as Duro trying to stay alive. It's going to be Fisher grabbing another kill as Chovy and Fisher now fighting. Chovy not with the mobility that Fisher has, and Ruler is done with this game and wants to just kind of end it. As Chovy is just going to send the Sand Soldiers forward, takes down the Ahri, and Lehens gives him a good old thumbs up and stops the back. And will also help Chovy get some more kills this game, and there it is.
Yeah, Chovy takes out his former teammate in Cold Blood. And I feel like Cold Blood is kind of accurate for how Nongshim are feeling right now. This game is very over, and it has been for a while.
It was. The Nexus goes down. It was an interesting experiment with the Diana. See whether King can do the same thing, as he is going to lock that one away.
Yeah, it's just... To me, it's interesting that they opted to save the Sion pick to last. I will say this is a very bulky composition from Gen.G, but it's also a 2-carry composition, and there's a lot of damage.
That's really the cup half full. Even making excuses for the theoretical things that could happen as Lehens finds another knock-up onto Ruler. Canyon is here, gets the flash, and just pulls Giu out. Remember, he doesn't have any sums. That is going to be the headbutt back, and that is going to be...
저리. 와, 막 미치네. 와, 막.
I think he was pretty happy about that. Duro's back to Chovy, but Fisher is not interested in trying to kill the enemy mid lane. As, okay, never mind. There's a knockup from Lehens. Chovy gets ulted here, but the Chaos Storm does come down, and Fisher is out of there. Another headbutt back. As Gideon going to get knocked up very low, but he's just trying to keep them away. Four Grubs will be locked up, as now Canyon making his way in, does manage to lock one down, but Lehens is still just playing with him. He's got a Blast Cone he can mess around with as well, and that is actually going to be effective.
Chovy's given up.
Yeah, this is so weird. I don't know which fight to commentate, as Duro's going to get hit by a Shock Blast. There goes that last Grub, as 5 do go over to Nongshim. Lehens is in the enemy base now. He's like, wasn't I on this team? This is the team I was on before, right? As there it is, Soul Furnace, and that is a kill going over to Keen. Seems to be fine.
I don't think they killed him.
I don't think so either, but Lehens is here. Duro is also here though, and Lehens is taking a whole host of damage. Phenomenal Impale is going to come through. One of them is a clone though, as Lehens, there it is. Somehow...
Find someone isolated, different story.
And the difficulty is that the self-peel from Ruler is massive. The fact that Chovy...
Perhaps is how you describe it, as Ruler keeps putting that pressure down.
Yeah, all right, Duro going to get knocked up. He is level 6.
He is also an Alistair.
Yeah. All right, Canyon now just going to say, Gideon, please. I would prefer it if you didn't take my Rift Herald. Gideon is going to hear that loud and clear.
Canyon's really going for these hard steel stacks. He wants them. I respect that approach.
Absolutely. I didn't even think that was why he was just walking towards the enemy team, as another headbutt comes forward. Charm does come through though from Lehens, but he's just going to explode before he can really use it. That is going to be a steal, but the eye I don't think is going to get picked up. Gideon, never mind. He does get over there, takes that one down, flashes over the wall, stays alive, and they've got a Blast Cone to take the two of them out of there. That means that Fisher is by himself though, as King in, wanting to kill Ruler, and Ruler says no. And there's 2 damage dealers up there. Okay, well, let's see what...
Line it up, you can do it.
Yeah, Canyon, he's through the wall, and yeah, unfortunately, if Canyon's already in the wall, if you go into the wall, you will get stopped by Canyon, who is in the wall. And there he goes. Wow. I think Ruler is having a good time here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's very true. He's just generally having a good time. As Duro underneath the turret is going to knock up 2 people and a clone. as the turret.
Anti-gravity lawnmower.
I'm pretty sure that that's what it is now. I've been living in apartments for too long, but I imagine that's where the technology's at. As teleport is going to get Keen in there, and of course he's happy to teleport in amongst everyone. That is going to be now feats of strength picked up as Kingen gonna boot Canyon out of the wall. That's nicely played, and Gen.G taking a lot of damage here. Dude, they are able to get behind him. Ruler down to 50%. Is this gonna be the moment here? As there's the flash forward, but Jiu's able to dash his way out, and now the grand entrance comes in. It's 1 kill for the Zeri. Keen turned into a zombie as Chovy now there with a whole bunch of damage. Ruler as well, not a lot of mana, but is certainly able to still contribute. As Duro able to limp his way out. Jiu running the wrong direction, but Nongshim, it was so close to winning a fight, and I honestly think they kind of did. As True Shot Barrage going to pick up the kill on a Fisher, never mind.
Never mind. So close, so close. They had the all back in, and they find access on a Chovy.
Well, speaking of access onto Chovy, Kingen is just going to kill him.
That's a big shutdown. Yeah.
If Fisher isn't here. As Duro goes in, that is a lot of damage onto Lehens. As Ruler is still piling on even more of it.
So low. No. This is bad. This is bad.
This is not what you want to see. Ruler does take a shock blast, but there's the train. Jiu's going to skate out of the way. But now the rest of Nongshim, they have to leave.
Guys, Chovy's up. He's got TP. Just leave. Just leave. Let him
God. Yeah, the teleport in. All right, Gideon, he desperately wants to be here so that he can go for this. As now the Chaos Storm comes in. The Death Ray's there as well, but Jiu's able to get over the wall. Lehens is dead, and the Archon was picked up by Gen.G thanks to the leash, and oh god. Fisher not able to get over that wall, but still able to use the ulti to create the amount of space that he required. So Nongshim lose the fight, but not as badly as they could have otherwise lost the fight if more bad things happened.
I was going to say that could have gone far worse, but it didn't go good.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Nongshim overestimating their ability to kill Archon. You know, we've had Archon around for a pretty long time now. Oh.
Yeah, that's a teleport in. They're going to see whether they can get Ruler out of here, and he does get quickness and may actually go down. However, Canyon over here, he's able to destroy the Wukong, and they're just immortal. Yes, they did get one withdrawal, but Canyon is just going to live, and then Keen cuts down the Aurora. Like that.
A wall right next to the one he just found someone over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, actually, it was that exact position as Canyon is going to come down and help Chovy out here as Ruler over the wall, and this is a turret that is no longer on the map. 3.5k.
I disagree. You may find me too controversial.
I do think that you are somewhat controversial. However, I'm ready to agree with you here, as Jiu is also under a lot of danger as he has to flash. True Shot Barrage was too close. And now this is Hextech Soul Point. Gen.G looking to try and pick that one up, as there is no chance for Nongshim to get in. So Hextech Soul for Gen.G, and it really feels like a death nail. You give Ezreal Hextech Soul, and it doesn't matter what is.
Pretty rough. The double tanks with Unending Despair, how are they ever killing
Oh no, they even just steal away the blue buff.
Oh, he gets a smite as well.
Canyon's going to be able to secure it.
It's post-Baron. Everyone gets the blue.
They did almost manage to kill his
Look at
shield, and yeah, he's just going to pull the hands over. Special delivery of the Rakan as Jiu. He ults and dies. And Ruler picks up a double, 4-0-6. And I think that that has a lot to do with Gen.G finally figuring out how this new roster is going to play together. I think Duro's improvement has been astounding as well. But I think that Nongshim are also having a little bit of an off day. There is going to be a bounty picked up. I don't know whether it's going to mean anything at all, as Keen is a brick wall. True Shot Barrage does so much damage, but it also slows them all down as Duro comes in looking for that pulverize. Keen actually taking a bit here, but the knock-up's going to be too good. Out goes Gideon, and Fisher is now just amongst the beefcakes.
You know, I thought he might die, and then his Unending Despair procced, and he didn't.
Yeah, and Kingen, we thought he might die, and he did.
Yeah. Keen is just, at this point, basically immortal.
And
Ruler's hunting for Lehens.
Yep, and Lehens is going to die, because he just doesn't have anywhere to go. The headbutt going to help out there, but I think the Mystic Shot was already going to kill. And Jiu, is he even safe on his fountain, is the question, as he's not. That's a Mystic Shot from Ruler one more time. 7-0-7 for this guy's Ezreal. Ruler having a really good day today. Gen.G just looking a cut above the opposition as they slaughter Nongshim.
And honestly, that game, I mean, it's a bit late in the day for importantly.
Yeah.
You know, all those other
Ruler actually sent a message to everyone that was voting saying it's allowed this time.
No Ruler would have complained if he'd stolen a kill as well.
Yep.
So I think definitely doing the true supportive role.
The classic. Duro is an absolute breath of fresh air here in the LCK. You love it when the young players do well. And of course, Duro is not like a rookie or anything. He did play, of course, last season or last year, but was still very, very new, right? And so seeing him come into Gen.G, a roster full of veterans, and playing this well and this assertively, it's beautiful to see out of the young man.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like the Blitzcrank game was really a sign of what was to come, but then today it just felt like more and more and really showing the potential this player has. And I think Gen.G feeling very happy about how their roster is in the moment, because he was the big question mark coming into the year. And even in the LCK Cup, there were some struggles, right? But to have things seem pretty sorted in week 2, you know, they've already taken down T1 and managed to close that one out, even though it was close. But it looks like they are going from strength to strength.
Yeah, they really are. I think Ruler as well has been playing better than a lot of people might have expected if they were watching a lot of LPL. I know that there were a few doubts about Ruler, but I think him and Duro together are also playing out their lanes exceptionally well in a lot of the games that we are seeing more recently of Gen.G. A great sign for the Tigers, but it is now time to talk to Duro, so let's throw it over to the interview.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the POM interview translation, joined by Duro on the side of Gen.G. Congratulations! So with today's victory, you're on 3 wins in a row. How do you feel? You know, we faced 3 really good teams and we were able to secure 3 wins in a row, and just being a part of that and being able to contribute makes me really happy. And yeah, you're right. From Hanalife Esports to T1 to Nongshim, you've taken them down all, and your head coach actually mentioned that Ruler was the one who addressed the team's room for improvement to increase the team cohesion. So what approach did you take in your practice? You know, with the lane swaps and everything, I feel like laning phase has become a lot more important. So I think this is something that we have been taking a lot of time trying to improve and practice, and also team fighting as well. Yeah, so what do you tend to communicate with Ruler about the most? Because of how important the early game is, I think we just mostly talk about the laning phase. In LoL Park, or during LoL Night, you actually mentioned that Ruler tends to be a little bit like a boomer who is just getting in everyone's business. So how did Ruler react to that? You know, Ruler wasn't actually very happy to hear that. You know, in the last match against C1, you did such an outstanding job with Blitzcrank, and it looks like you're blending in with Gen.G perfectly lately. So do you feel like you have been performing a lot better? I think, yeah, I've been playing way better lately. And compared to how I was playing in LCK Cup, where I showed a lot of moments where I was lacking, I think lately, I feel like I am definitely sort of melting in with the team a lot better and moving as a unit. You know, today, you had such great gameplay. So is there a particular one that you were happy with? Now, the moment where I saved Chovy in the top lane. You will face D plus Kia next, and they're actually on a roll as well with 3 wins. And you will face Beryl next, so what is your resolution? I feel like we're just facing all the great teams, and the next team, D plus Kia, is going to be a very strong opponent, so I want to make sure that we are prepared for that one, and so that we can perform and show up just as well that we are so far. Anything you want to say to your fans about to reach a 4th consecutive victory? You know, if we get to secure our 4th victory, I will post on Gen.G Gallery. And that's the end of the interview with Duro, and back to the space. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Yeah, it's great to hear.